16 magical tricks to get people to do shit they definitely don't want to. When you want someone to do something for you, it can be hard. I mean, a lot of people just aren't that into helping other people out. But there are a few tricks that can help you get what you want without having to beg or threaten anyone. So next time your boss is refusing to give you a raise or the person on the bus won't stop using her phone while driving, seriously, try these out and see if they work. For example, instead of saying, "I would like to go out for dinner tonight," try telling your spouse that they must take you out for dinner. Instead of asking them if they would be willing to do the dishes after dinner, tell them there's no other option than that. It's not the same thing as being bossy or rude. You're not telling them what to do. You're simply making it crystal clear how things will go down if they don't comply with your request. If you're asking someone to do something difficult or even just uncomfortable, try making it seem smaller. You can do this by saying that the task will only take a few seconds, even if it will take longer, or by telling them that they don't have to bother doing anything else after they finish the task, even though they will. This makes the request seem less daunting and sets their mind at ease, so they're more likely to agree and follow through with your plan. If they say no, don't give up. Just come up with another simple thing that would be easy for them, but still works towards your overall goal. Once again, keep using this method until you've completed all of your tasks successfully. Let's say you want someone to, say, hang a picture for you. You could ask them outright and probably get a no in return. But if you were to approach it with the words only or just, then it would sound like such a tiny request that they'd almost certainly do it out of politeness. If nothing else, they'd feel bad about turning down such a small favor. That's how I felt when my friend told me she was going shopping and asked me if I wanted anything. Only please pass the salt. You're asking me for something so small. Just go ahead and make yourself at home while I finish making dinner. You're telling me what to do with my own house. Only put some pants on before we go outside. I'm saying this because your outfit is very revealing. Give them a chance to say no. When you're asking for something from someone, let them know that their answer is totally fine with you. You don't have to do this, or I understand if you aren't ready. Will go a long way toward making sure they feel comfortable saying no. Make it about something you have in common. People are more likely to help if they can see how it will benefit them. If you want someone to help you move into a new apartment, make it about something that person has in common with you and your roommate, like their favorite food or sports team. For example, if your friend loves the Yankees, ask them if they want to come over and take some photos with their jersey on before the big game tonight. They're more likely to help out since they'll feel like part of the action, and like they have an investment in helping out even though all they've done is sit there while you do all of the work. You can't always control the outcome. The goal is to get people to say yes without feeling like they're being tricked or manipulated. So if you get a no, don't take it personally. If there's one thing I've learned in life and on Tinder, it's that there are a lot of different reasons why an otherwise reasonable person might not want to do something. Instead of making excuses for yourself, e.g., I would totally go out with you, but my boyfriend doesn't like me meeting new people. Make excuses for them, e.g., I would totally go out with you, but I think we should just be friends right now. If someone says no and then implies that he or she doesn't have time, can't afford it, is busy when asked why, respond by saying something along the lines of course, maybe some other time. This way they won't feel guilty about saying no, because they'll realize that there was nothing personal about their decision at all. They were just busy. Give them a choice between two options. Make one option more attractive than the other, or less attractive than the other. Give them a choice between doing it right now or later. A limited time frame. Make one option really easy to do, and one really difficult. Like, would you rather wash your hands with soap and water, or eat live crabs? In this article, I've taken some time to explain how you can get people to do things they really don't want to do. The point of this exercise is to help you understand how persuasion works, so that you know what tools are available to you and when it's appropriate for them to be used. When we ask people to do things, we often run into resistance, but it doesn't have to be that way. There are a lot of simple tricks you can use to get people on board with whatever it is you want them to do. The key is knowing which one works best for your situation and building up enough momentum beforehand so that the other person will feel like they don't have a choice, but say yes when they see how easy it would be for them. Add a time limit. It's amazing how effective this can be even when there is no actual deadline involved. For example, when asking someone to do something for you, even if the task is one that takes very little time, add a bit of urgency by saying that you need it done in 3 days or less. Or say, if I don't get this by tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., I'm going to have to cancel our plans for tonight. If you sound as though your life depends on their assistance, they will be more than happy to help out right away, so that they can alleviate all of your stress. In what's sure to be the best thing you've ever read today, we're going to show you a trick that will get people to do shit they don't want to. But first, a word of advice. If you try these magical tricks and they don't work, don't be discouraged. These tricks are especially effective if used in conjunction with some of our other articles. To start off on the right foot, act like whatever it is that you're doing for them isn't actually for them, even though it totally is, but rather for someone else. Even if the favor has been asked by your friend or parent, or even yourself, it should be made known that this person only wants one thing from said favor, something that benefits their self-image more than any actual good deed would have accomplished. This will make it seem like they owe themselves something by completing this task, since they were willing to do it without asking anything in return anyway. If you want someone to do something that they really don't want to do, don't start explaining your plan for getting them to help. Don't tell them about the idea that's supposed to change their mind once you've made it clear how important or advantageous it is for them. If you haven't already, try taking an inventory of all the friends and loved ones in your life before proceeding. If there's one person who isn't very helpful when it comes time for him or her to help out with regular activities like chores or errands, or if there are multiple people, then this trick will probably work well for you too. The key here is not giving any useful information until after someone agrees to help out with whatever task needs doing, and by then it may be too late. The first and most important thing to keep in mind when making a request is that it's always better to be brief. This will make your requests more effective, because the simplest requests are always the most direct. There's nothing worse than being asked for something and then seeing your friend or family member's eyes glaze over as they try to understand what you want from them. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. There are countless ways this can happen. For example, I just want you to do my laundry. If you're not careful with how you choose the words that come out of your mouth, this request could sound like, I would like for you to wash all of my clothes by hand. You might think that doesn't seem like such a big deal, but if their only way of doing laundry is washing everything on their own in 3 sinks at once, while simultaneously trying not to drown themselves in bubbles, well, that's just too much work. In order for someone else's help seem less overwhelming, and therefore more appealing, make sure they don't have any options beyond agreeing with whatever it is that needs doing. If there are multiple ways they could go about fulfilling your request, i.e., you could either buy me some new sheets versus, can we please go shopping tomorrow, then all hope is lost before the conversation even begins. Bribing people is a great way to get things done. It's also an excellent way to make friends, because even if they don't do what you ask them to do, they'll usually still be grateful that you tried. The best bribes are those that are desirable but not too expensive. You should never offer someone something they can buy on their own. It's tacky and presumptuous, and will probably get your request denied. Instead of offering someone money or designer clothing, consider free tickets to a concert or museum exhibit, assuming it isn't about medieval torture devices. Or maybe just offer them lunch somewhere delicious. There's no better way to win over anyone than by feeding them. Also keep in mind that there's such thing as too much when it comes to bribes. If the person doesn't have any use for whatever item or service would cost thousands of dollars or more, then take a step back and realize that maybe this person really isn't worth the effort after all. If they're ungrateful enough not even appreciate being offered something valuable, like tickets, then why would they ever change their mind? You can get people to do things they don't want to by telling them that they don't have to do it alone. That's right. Appealing to the sense of community is a surefire way to get other people's help. If someone comes to you for assistance, tell them that you will help them out and make sure that whatever task needs doing gets done. However, if someone asks for your help with something and then says, but I want to do this on my own. Assure them that they don't have to be alone in their endeavors. Tell them you'll help them out or give advice in some form or another, so that they feel like they're part of a team working towards a shared goal. This can be anything from giving feedback on something written by someone else, i.e., editing an essay, offering moral support during exams or tests at school, college, university, checking up on friends who are sick, helping cook dinner for family members who might otherwise struggle doing so themselves. It is of lack of mobility, etc. Volunteering together at local charities, such as shelters, food banks, where there may be little experience needed, beyond showing up regularly over time, because oftentimes people just need encouragement from others their own age, who have been through similar experiences before. The list goes on. You can't say no because you're too embarrassed. You don't want to be a jerk. You'll look like a bad person if you say no. You'll look like a bad person if you say yes. You can ask for the impossible by telling them that it would mean a lot to someone else. Tell them it would mean a lot to someone else, not just you. The person you're asking will feel good about helping another person, and what's more, they'll feel like they're actually doing something helpful. This makes them much more likely to agree with your request, because they're already invested in helping out a cause. You can also offer up some kind of incentive as well. Tell them that if they help you out with this one task, then maybe later on down the line, there will be another favor returned in kind. It's important not to promise too much though, or none at all, since this type of deal often goes sour when expectations aren't met on both sides.